Is it me, or does it feel a little 1968 in here? My name is Cameron Cowan. This is the Cameron Cowan Show. Thank you all so much for watching. I always appreciate it. Don't forget to watch my other videos. I always love when you do. Between race rioting in Baltimore, ironically enough, and a smattering of foreign policy issues around the planet, the only thing to remind me that it's not 1968 is my car and my iPhone, because otherwise, to the casual observer, you think it was the same, like we've seen this one before, the same tape played over again already. You literally would think. It's kind of sad, all 47 years later, to be having to talk about the same problems that we talked about in 1968. 1968, we were 4 years from the Civil Rights Act. Vietnam was really deteriorating. There was, there are these projects, these wonderful, grandiose housing projects that had been built that were starting to fall apart. You had the beginnings of the Great Society, and which kind of proved it wasn't so great. You really just started to have all of these problems, and the the difficulty with that is that after that all happened, life went on, but we never really solved the problem. We never actually did something about race and racism in terms of police, the cops, institutions, things like that, which is why we have the problems we have now. We never we did kind of solve some of our foreign policy problems. We pulled out of Vietnam, and and different things like that, occurred, and we're tussling with the same thing with Iraq and Afghanistan right now, and what to do with Yemen, and you just have the rebels in Yemen, and you have Boko Haram in Nigeria, and all these different problems, and you have all these different things happening. It's the parallels and comparisons run a little deep, a little strong, maybe stronger than I would like them to, but I think I want to say this can give us hope, but I'm very cautious because although life went on and things progressed after 1968, the underlying problems never got solved. And that's why we're back here today. I'm making this video to tell you it feels a little bit like 1968 in here. Is that I think at some level this is an opportunity for us to actually do something about the underlying problems that actually cause these issues. We can actually do something about racism and neighborhood segregation and things like that. We can actually do something actionable about providing economic opportunity for people. We can change our foreign policy for the better and not let Yemen descend into some kind of meaningless proxy war. Or do something actionable about Boko Haram, or do something actionable about ISIS. There are chances for us to make the right movements towards actual solutions rather than sweeping the problems under the rug. It didn't work 47 years ago. It's not going to work now. Therefore, I think it would behoove us to look at 1968 and learn some lessons in terms of, perhaps we shouldn't get involved in protracted long-term conflicts against people who are working for independence. Maybe we shouldn't get involved in every small-time foreign affair, but only the ones that matter to international security. So, for example, maybe we don't get involved in Yemen, but we do take on ISIS. Perhaps to learn that discernment, things that at some level we should have already figured out because we've been here before. And I guess maybe that's my point of this video, is we've been here before. We've done this. It's the same old thing over and over and over. And at some level, when the universe sends you something like this, you kind of have to think about it, because there's a reason that something comes back around. But I think, given the modern condition we have, there's a unique chance, a unique moment to capture. And I think the modern racial tension that we have is a chance for us to have a very frank national discussion about what are we going to do with 20% of the population. How are we going to actually aid in human suffering? How are we going to create a country we all actually want to live in? And those are all discussions we were having in 1968, and nothing ever came of them. Neoliberalism came along. McGovern ran for president. The Barry Goldwater thing got crazy, and the neoliberals got in power, and they had an agenda, and they implemented it. The only problem is it didn't create a country any of us want to live in. And I think that's the chance for us to actually have that discussion and make that happen moving forward. Finally, I think we can have a chance to do that, to figure out how are we going to create a space for people to actually live their lives, not live to work, but work to live, not just be cogs in the machine and go home and watch TV every evening. How can we want and get more from our lives? And in my mind, that is what the actual lesson of this is. So if it's feeling a little 1968 in here to you, it certainly is for me. Let's not let this opportunity slip us by one more time. My name is Cameron Cowan. This is the Cameron Cowan Show. Please catch me on Twitter at Cameron Cowan, on Facebook, facebook.com/the Cameron Cowan Show, and on all your favorite social media websites. We'll see you out there. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.